The history of animal transport begins in prehistoric times with the domestication of animals. Around 15,000 years ago, humans began to tame wolves, evolving them into the dogs we know today. These early half-wolves were likely used for hunting and possibly for transport of small goods. The next major step in animal transport came with the domestication of the horse, around 4000 BC. Originating in the steppes of Central Asia, horses revolutionized transport, enabling faster and more efficient travel over long distances. In the same period, the donkey was domesticated in Egypt and the Middle East, providing a reliable carry animal for desert environments. The domestication of the camel around 3000 BC in Arabia further enhanced desert transport capabilities. These animals could carry heavy loads and travel long distances without water, making them ideal for trade routes across harsh desert landscapes. Meanwhile, in the Andes around 3500 BC, the llama was domesticated, providing transport for goods in the challenging mountainous terrain. These early developments laid the foundation for animal transport, setting the stage for the next stages of human civilization. As human civilization advanced, so did the use of animals for transport. In the ancient world, the horse's role expanded beyond mere transport. By 2000 BC, horses were strapped to chariots, becoming crucial components in warfare and sport. In the Middle East, the innovation of the camel saddle around 500 BC significantly increased the load a camel could carry, further enhancing its utility for long-distance trade. In Asia, the domestication of the elephant around 2000 BC provided a powerful means of transport. These animals were used for moving heavy goods in warfare and as a symbol of royal power. The invention of the horse collar in China around the 5th century AD allowed horses to pull heavier loads without choking, leading to a significant increase in the efficiency of land transport. In the Americas, the absence of large domesticated animals meant that transport relied heavily on human labor. However, the llama continued to be an essential transport animal in the Andean region, carrying loads of up to 75 kilograms over long distances in high-altitude terrain. The Middle Ages, from the 5th to the 15th century AD, saw further enhancements in animal transport. The horse continued to be the primary means of transport in Europe, with the development of the stirrup in the 7th century AD, which is a light frame or ring that holds the foot of a rider, attached to the saddle by a strap, providing greater stability and control for riders. This invention revolutionized cavalry warfare and made it easier for longer distance travel. In the Middle East and North Africa, the camel remained the primary means of transport, with the one-humped camel favored for its speed and endurance. The development of larger, more efficient camel caravans make easier the growth of trans-Saharan trade routes, linking West Africa with the Mediterranean world. In Asia, the use of elephants continued, particularly in South and Southeast Asia. In addition to their role in transport and warfare, elephants were also used in construction, capable of moving large and heavy objects that would be impossible for humans. In the Americas, the indigenous peoples of North America developed the travois, a type of sled pulled by dogs or horses, which was used for transporting goods. In the Andes, llamas continued to be used for transport, with the Inca Empire developing extensive road systems optimized for llama caravans. The Age of Exploration and Colonial period, from the 15th to the 19th centuries, brought new challenges and innovations in animal transport. Horses, brought to the Americas by European colonizers, transformed the lives of indigenous peoples, particularly on the Great Plains, where they helped out for hunting, warfare, and trade. In Australia, the arrival of European settlers in the 18th century introduced horses, which became integral to the exploration and development of the interior. The Australian stock horse, bred for endurance, speed, and agility, became a key player in the establishment of the Australian cattle and sheep industries. In Africa, the ox wagon, drawn by a team of oxen, was a common mode of transport for European settlers, particularly in southern Africa. These wagons were used for long-distance travel, trade, and during the Great Trek, the migration of Dutch-speaking colonists during the 1830s. In Asia, the elephant continued to play a significant role in transport and labor, with the British in India and the French in Indochina using elephants for military transport and construction. In the Arctic regions, the indigenous peoples used dog sleds for transport across the snow and ice, a practice that continues to this day. The 19th century marked a significant shift in animal transport with the advent of the Industrial Revolution. The invention of the steam engine and the development of railways reduced the reliance on animal power for long-distance transport. However, horses and mules remained essential for short-distance travel and transport within cities. In fact, the number of horses in cities exploded during the 19th century, leading to significant environmental and logistical challenges. In rural areas and on farms, horses and oxen continued to be the primary sources of power for plowing and transport. In the American West, the mule, a hybrid of a male donkey and a female horse, was highly valued for its hardiness and endurance, particularly in the harsh conditions of the mining and prospecting frontier. In the Arctic, the indigenous peoples began to use reindeer for transport, in addition to dogs. Reindeer sleds were faster and could carry heavier loads than dog sleds, making them an effective means of transport in these harsh environments. In Africa and Asia, camels and elephants continued to be used for transport and labor, with the camel playing a crucial role in the exploration and development of the African interior. The early 20th century saw a dramatic reduction in the use of animals for transport due to the rapid development of motorized vehicles. The invention of the internal combustion engine led to the creation of cars, trucks, and tractors, which gradually replaced horses and oxen for transport and farm work. By the mid-20th century, the use of animals for transport in developed countries had become relatively rare, confined mainly to remote or mountainous areas and to tourist attractions. However, in many parts of the developing world, animals continued to play a significant role in transport. In rural areas of Africa, Asia, and Latin America, horses, donkeys, mules, camels, and oxen were still used for farming and transport, often due to the lack of infrastructure and resources for motorized transport. In the Middle East, the camel remained a symbol of the region's heritage and was still used for transport in remote desert areas. In the Arctic, dog sleds and reindeer sleds continued to be used for transport, particularly in areas where motorized vehicles were impractical. In the late 20th and early 21st century, the use of animals for transport has continued to decline globally, but they still play a vital role in certain areas and industries. In mountainous regions, such as the Himalayas and the Andes, yaks and llamas are still used for transporting goods due to their ability to navigate difficult terrains. In Africa, donkeys and mules remain essential for rural communities, providing a reliable and cost-effective means of transport. In the Middle East, camels are still used for transport in desert regions, although their use has declined due to the increase of motor vehicles. In many parts of the world, animals are also used for tourism, providing rides for tourists or being used in traditional ceremonies and festivals. The use of animals for transport in the modern era has also raised significant ethical and welfare concerns. The overworking and mistreatment of animals used for transport, particularly in tourism and in developing countries, has become a major issue. International and local organizations have been established to protect the rights of these animals and to promote their welfare. In response to these concerns, some countries have introduced legislation to regulate the use of animals for transport. These laws often include provisions on the treatment of animals, their working conditions, and the loads they can carry. However, enforcement remains a challenge, particularly in countries where animals are a significant part of the economy. The development of alternatives to animal transport has also been a focus of research and innovation. These include the development of more efficient and sustainable forms of transport, such as electric vehicles and bicycles, and the use of technology to reduce the need for physical transport, such as e-commerce and telecommuting. As we look towards the future, the role of animals in transport is likely to continue to evolve. While the use of animals for transport is expected to decline further due to technological advancements and increasing concern for animal welfare, they will likely remain an important part of the transport in certain areas and contexts. In remote and difficult terrains, animals may continue to be the most effective means of transport. In conclusion, the history of animal transport is a fascinating journey that reflects the broader evolution of human civilization. From the domestication of the first dogs and horses in prehistoric times to the use of camels, elephants, and llamas in the ancient world, animals have played a crucial role in human mobility and economic activity. The history of land transportation begins in prehistoric times with the invention of walking. Early humans, Homo erectus, began to walk upright around 1.9 million years ago, marking the first significant advancement in land transportation. However, the first tool to aid in transportation wasn't developed until around 3500 BC with the invention of the wheel in Mesopotamia. The wheel was initially used in pottery, but its use quickly expanded to transportation. The first vehicles were likely simple carts or wagons, pulled by humans or animals. These early vehicles were used for a variety of purposes, including transporting goods, people, and even for warfare. The use of animals to pull these vehicles marked another significant advancement in transportation, as it allowed for the transport of larger loads over longer distances. By 2000 BC, the chariot had been invented in Mesopotamia. This was a light, two-wheeled vehicle pulled by horses, which was used primarily for warfare. The chariot was a significant advancement in military technology, as it allowed for rapid movement of troops and provided a platform from which to launch projectiles. Chariots were also used for hunting and sport, and they were a symbol of status and power. As we move into the classical era, around 500 BC to 500 AD, transportation methods continued to evolve. The Romans, in particular, made significant advancements in road construction. They built an extensive network of roads across their empire, some of which are still in use today. These roads were constructed with a layered design for durability and drainage, and they were straight and wide, allowing for the efficient movement of troops, goods, and people. The Romans also improved upon the design of the chariot, creating a vehicle that was lighter, faster, and more maneuverable. This was the precursor to the carriage, which would become a common mode of transportation in later centuries. Meanwhile, in China, the invention of the wheelbarrow around the 1st century AD marked another significant advancement in land transportation. The wheelbarrow was a simple, one-wheeled vehicle that could be pushed or pulled, and it was used for transporting goods and people. This invention greatly increased the efficiency of manual labor and had a significant impact on agriculture and construction. In the Americas, the absence of large draft animals meant that people primarily relied on human power for transportation. The Inca, for example, built an extensive network of roads and bridges in the Andes Mountains, which were traversed by runners who relayed messages and goods. The Middle Ages, spanning from the 5th to the 15th century, saw the introduction of the horse collar. Before its invention, harnesses would choke horses that were pulling heavy loads. The horse collar, however, sat on the horse's shoulders, allowing it to pull heavy weights without choking, thereby vastly improving the efficiency of land transportation. This invention, originating in China, was gradually adopted in Europe by the 12th century. The Middle Ages also saw the widespread use of the carriage, a four-wheeled vehicle drawn by horses. Carriages were used for transporting people and goods, and they varied greatly in design and luxury, from simple farm wagons to ornate carriages used by nobility. The period also saw the development of the stagecoach, a large, closed, four-wheeled vehicle used for carrying passengers and goods. Stagecoaches were particularly common in the 18th and 19th centuries, and they played a crucial role in the expansion of communication and trade routes, especially in North America. In the 19th century, the invention of the steam engine marked a significant turning point in the history of land transportation. The first full-scale working railway steam locomotive was built by George Stephenson. This invention led to the development of railways, which revolutionized land transportation by providing a fast, reliable, and efficient means of transporting goods and people over long distances. The steam engine also led to the development of the steam-powered road vehicle, or steam wagon. These were used for a variety of purposes, including hauling freight, delivering mail, and transporting passengers. However, they were eventually concealed by the internal combustion engine. The bicycle also emerged in the 19th century. Originally developed as a wooden frame with two wheels and no pedals, the modern bicycle with pedals and a metal frame was introduced in the late 1800s. The bicycle provided a cheap, efficient, and healthy mode of transportation and continues to be widely used today. The dawn of the 20th century brought with it the age of the automobile. The internal combustion engine, running on petroleum-derived gasoline, was a game-changer for land transportation. A German, Carl Benz, developed the first practical automobile powered by an internal combustion engine. This three-wheeled vehicle, named the Benz Patent Motorwagen, marked the beginning of the automobile era. The mass production of automobiles began in the early 20th century with the pioneering efforts of Henry Ford. In 1908, Ford introduced the Model T, the first affordable automobile for many middle-class Americans. This was made possible by the introduction of the assembly line, a manufacturing method that greatly increased the efficiency of production. The automobile revolutionized land transportation. It provided individuals with unprecedented mobility, transforming the way people lived, worked, and traveled. Roads and highways were built and expanded to accommodate the growing number of automobiles, leading to the development of the interstate highway system in the United States in the 1950s. The 20th century also saw the development of other forms of land transportation, such as motorcycles and buses. Motorcycles, essentially bicycles with an internal combustion engine, provided a cheap and efficient means of transportation. Buses, large motor vehicles designed to carry many passengers, became a common form of public transportation in cities around the world. As the 21st century dawned, land transportation continued to evolve, with technology playing a significant role. The introduction of hybrid vehicles, which use both an internal combustion engine and an electric motor, marked a significant step towards more environmentally friendly transportation. The Toyota Prius, introduced in Japan in 1997 and worldwide in 2000, was the first mass-produced hybrid vehicle. Electric vehicles, which use an electric motor powered by rechargeable battery packs, also began to gain popularity. The Tesla Roadster, introduced in 2008, was the first highway-legal all-electric vehicle to use lithium-ion battery cells. Electric vehicles offer the promise of zero-emission transportation, with the potential to significantly reduce our reliance on fossil fuels. High-speed rail also saw significant advancements in the 21st century. Countries like Japan and France have developed extensive high-speed rail networks, with trains reaching speeds of over 300 kilometers per hour. These trains provide a fast, efficient, and environmentally friendly alternative to air travel for many intercity journeys. Another transformative concept in the future of land transportation is the Hyperloop. This proposed mode of passenger and freight transportation, first used to describe an open-source vac train design released by a joint team from Tesla and SpaceX, involves reduced pressure tubes in which pressurized capsules ride on an air cushion driven by linear induction motors and air compressors. The system could potentially achieve very high speeds, with some designs predicting speeds of up to 760 miles per hour. From the first use of the wheel to the advent of autonomous vehicles, the history of land transportation is a story of continuous innovation and adaptation. As we look to the future, it is clear that this story is far from over. Considering the rapid advancements in land transportation, from the invention of the steam engine to the development of electric vehicles and high-speed rail, what do you envision as the next major breakthrough in the field? The history of air transportation is a fascinating journey that begins in prehistoric times. The earliest evidence of the concept of flight can be traced back to the Paleolithic period. The ancient Chinese, around 400 BC, used kites for military purposes, indicating an early understanding of aerodynamics. The concept of manned flight, however, was first recorded in ancient Greek mythology with the story of Daedalus and Icarus. In the 9th century, a Muslim inventor, Abbas ibn Firnas, attempted to fly using a set of wings made of feathers. His attempts, though unsuccessful, marked a significant step towards the development of air transportation. The Renaissance period saw the genius Leonardo da Vinci sketching detailed plans for flying machines, including the ornithopter, a device designed to mimic the flight of birds. However, it was not until the 18th century that the first successful manned flight took place. In 1783, the Montgolfier brothers in France launched the first hot air balloon, marking the birth of air travel. The balloon, filled with hot air from a fire, carried 2 humans on a 9-kilometer flight, igniting a new era in transportation. The 19th century brought significant advancements in air transportation. Sir George Cayley, often referred to as the father of aeronautics, made significant contributions during this period. In 1799, he set forth the concept of the modern airplane as a fixed-wing flying machine with separate systems for lift, propulsion, and control. In 1853, his glider, carrying his coachman, marked the first recorded manned flight in a heavier-than-air craft. Meanwhile, the development of airships, also known as dirigibles, was underway. In 1852, Henri Giffard, a French engineer, built the first powered airship. Using a steam engine, it was able to fly at a speed of 6 miles per hour. However, it was Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin who significantly advanced airship design in the late 19th century. His rigid airship, named Zeppelin, made its first flight in 1900. The end of the century saw the advent of the internal combustion engine, a crucial development for powered, sustained, and controlled flight. In 1891, Otto Lilienthal, a German aviation pioneer, was the first person to make controlled, sustained flights with a glider. In the 1920s, air transportation began to transform from a novelty into an essential mode of transport. The Kelly Act of 1925, also known as the Air Mail Act, led to the growth of commercial aviation in the United States. This act authorized the United States Post Office to contract with private airlines to carry mail, leading to the establishment of passenger airlines. By the end of the decade, airlines were transporting passengers over long distances, laying the groundwork for the modern airline industry. The 1930s brought further advancements in air transportation technology. The introduction of all-metal aircraft, such as the Ford Trimotor and the Douglas DC-3, revolutionized air travel. These planes were more durable, faster, and could carry more passengers than their predecessors, making air travel more accessible and efficient. In 1939, the jet engine was invented by Frank Whittle and Hans von Ohain. This invention marked a significant breakthrough in aviation, paving the way for the development of jet aircraft. During World War II, the need for superior air power led to significant advancements in aircraft technology. The first operational jet fighter, the Messerschmitt Me 262, was introduced by Germany in 1944. Post-war, these technological advancements were quickly adopted by commercial aviation. In 1952, the de Havilland Comet, the world's first jet-powered passenger airliner, made its inaugural flight. This marked the beginning of the jet age in commercial aviation, drastically reducing travel times and making air travel more accessible to the masses. The 1960s saw the introduction of larger, more efficient jet airliners. The Boeing 707 and the Douglas DC-8 became the backbone of international air travel, capable of carrying more passengers over longer distances. In 1969, the Boeing 747, the first wide-body jumbo jet, made its maiden flight. Its large size, long-range capabilities, and iconic hump-shaped upper deck revolutionized air travel, making it more affordable and accessible to the public. Meanwhile, the Concorde, a supersonic passenger airliner developed by Britain and France, made its first flight in 1969. Entering service in 1976, it could travel at over twice the speed of sound, significantly reducing flight times. However, due to high operating costs and noise concerns, it was retired in 2003. In the realm of military aviation, the late 20th and early 21st centuries have seen the development of stealth technology, unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, and advanced fighter aircraft. Stealth technology, which reduces an aircraft's visibility to radar and other detection methods, has been incorporated into several military aircraft, such as the American B-2 Spirit bomber and F-22 Raptor fighter. UAVs, or drones, have become an integral part of modern warfare, capable of performing reconnaissance, surveillance, and attack missions without putting a human pilot at risk. Drones have been widely adopted by militaries around the world. The American MQ-1 Predator and MQ-9 Reaper drones are notable examples of this technology. Advanced fighter aircraft, such as the American F-35 Lightning II and the Russian Sukhoi Su-57, feature cutting-edge technology, including advanced radar systems, high-speed data networks, and sophisticated weapon systems. These aircraft represent the current state-of-the-art in military aviation. In the realm of space travel, the 21st century has seen the development of reusable spacecraft. SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket, which can return to Earth and land vertically after delivering its payload to space, represents a significant advancement in reducing the cost of space travel. The current era of air transportation is characterized by a focus on sustainability and efficiency. The aviation industry is under increasing pressure to reduce its environmental impact, leading to the development of more fuel-efficient aircraft and the exploration of alternative fuels. Biofuels, made from organic materials, and synthetic fuels, made from carbon dioxide and hydrogen, are being investigated as more sustainable alternatives to traditional jet fuel. In addition to these technological advancements, there is also a growing emphasis on improving air traffic management to increase efficiency and reduce emissions. Concepts such as free flight, where pilots choose their own routes and speeds, are being explored to optimize air traffic flow. The future of air transportation may also see the return of supersonic passenger travel. Several companies, including Boom Technology and Ariane Supersonic, are developing supersonic passenger aircraft that aim to reduce travel times while mitigating the noise and environmental issues associated with earlier supersonic aircraft. In addition to these developments, the field of space tourism is beginning to take shape. Some companies are developing spacecraft to take private citizens into space. These ventures aim to make space travel more accessible and could represent the next frontier in air transportation. In conclusion, the history of air transportation is a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of progress. From the earliest kites and balloons to modern jet airliners and spacecraft, each development has brought us closer to realizing the dream of flight. In the realm of space travel, the potential for commercial space tourism and the development of reusable spacecraft could revolutionize our relationship with space. As we look to the future, one thing is clear: the sky is no longer the limit. With the emergence of concepts like urban air mobility and supersonic passenger travel, how do you envision the future of air transportation shaping our daily lives and travel experiences? Water transportation has played a crucial role in human history, shaping civilizations and enabling trade and exploration. In prehistoric times, around 8,000 to 3,000 BC, the first known boats were simple log boats and rafts. These were made from hollowed-out tree trunks, primarily used for short trips across rivers and lakes. The ancient Egyptians took this concept further around 4000 BC, developing the first sailboats. These were initially small, propelled by rowers and the wind, but they evolved into large, ocean-going vessels. The Egyptians also pioneered the use of the papyrus reed in boat construction, creating light yet sturdy vessels. Around the same time, in the Indus Valley Civilization, The inhabitants used flat-bottomed boats, which were ideal for navigating the region's extensive river systems. In the Bronze Age, around 3000 to 1200 BC, the Minoans of Crete built the first large-scale naval power, with their advanced ships dominating the Mediterranean Sea. Their vessels, known as galleys, were long and narrow, designed for speed and maneuverability, and were powered by both sails and oars. The Phoenicians, around 1200 to 800 BC, were renowned seafarers and traders, with their ships reaching as far as Britain and West Africa. Their vessels, known as biremes and triremes, were equipped with 2 or 3 rows of oars and were used for both trade and warfare. In the Far East, the Chinese were developing their own unique forms of water transportation. Around 200 BC, they invented the junk, a sturdy and versatile ship with a flat bottom and fully battened sails, ideal for navigating China's rivers and coastal waters. The Middle Ages saw the rise of the Viking longship, a fast and agile vessel, capable of both sailing and rowing. These ships, built around 800 to 1100 AD, allowed the Vikings to conduct raids and establish trade routes across Europe. The period also saw the development of the cog, a type of ship used in Northern Europe, characterized by a single mast, a square sail, and a steep, high-sided hull. These ships were primarily used for trade. The Age of Discovery, from the 15th to the 17th century, marked a significant advancement in water transportation. During this period, European nations built advanced sailing ships such as caravels and galleons to explore and trade with the New World and Asia. The Portuguese caravel, with its latent sails, was fast, agile, and capable of sailing into the wind, making it ideal for exploration. The Spanish galleon, on the other hand, was a large, multi-deck ship used for long voyages across the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The 18th century saw the advent of the clipper ship, a fast-sailing vessel with 3 masts and a square rig. Clippers were used primarily for carrying tea from China and later for the gold rushes in California and Australia. The 19th century marked the transition from sail to steam. The first successful steamboat was the Clermont, built by Robert Fulton. It used a steam engine to power paddle wheels, allowing for more reliable and efficient travel than wind-powered vessels. This innovation ushered in the era of steamships, revolutionizing water transportation. The 19th century was a time of rapid innovation in water transportation. The development of the screw propeller in the 1830s by inventors such as John Ericsson and Francis Pettit Smith offered a more efficient method of propulsion than paddle wheels. This led to the widespread adoption of screw-propelled steamships. The period also saw the introduction of iron and steel hulls, which were stronger and more durable than wooden ones. In 1819, the SS Savannah became the first steamship to cross the Atlantic Ocean, although most of the journey was made under sail due to the inefficiency of early steam engines. The real breakthrough came in 1838 when the SS Sirius and SS Great Western, both British ships, made the first transatlantic crossings entirely under steam power. These voyages marked the beginning of regular transatlantic steamship service, drastically reducing travel times between Europe and America. The second half of the 19th century saw the development of the ocean liner, large luxurious passenger ships that became a symbol of the age. The SS Great Eastern, launched in 1858, was the largest ship ever built at the time and a marvel of engineering. It was the first ship to be fitted with a double hull, a safety feature that became standard in later designs. In the early 20th century, the advent of the turbine engine further revolutionized water transportation. The turbine was more efficient than the reciprocating steam engine, allowing ships to travel faster and further. The RMS Mauritania, launched in 1906, was the first ocean liner to use turbine propulsion. It held the blue riband for the fastest transatlantic crossing for 2 decades. The period also saw the development of the diesel engine, which offered even greater efficiency and reliability than steam power. The MS Selandia, launched in 1912, was the first ocean-going ship to be powered entirely by diesel engines. By the mid-20th century, diesel had become the dominant form of propulsion for all types of ships, from small fishing vessels to large ocean liners. The 20th century also saw the rise of the aircraft carrier, a type of warship that serves as a seagoing airbase. The first aircraft carrier, the HMS Argus, was commissioned by the Royal Navy in 1918. Aircraft carriers played a crucial role in World War II and remain a key component of modern naval forces. The largest aircraft carriers, such as the U.S. Navy's Nimitz class, can carry over 80 aircraft and have a displacement of over 100,000 tons. The 20th century also witnessed the rise of the container ship, a vessel designed to carry standardized cargo containers. The use of containers revolutionized the shipping industry, making it possible to transport goods more efficiently and cheaply. The first container ship, the Ideal X, set sail in 1956, carrying 58 containers from New Jersey to Texas. Today, ultra-large container vessels can carry over 20,000 20-foot equivalent units, making them among the largest moving objects ever built. The oil tanker is another type of ship that became crucial in the 20th century. These vessels transport crude oil from oil-producing regions to refineries around the world. The first oil tanker, the Zoroaster, was built in 1878. Modern supertankers, such as the TI class, can carry over 3 million barrels of oil. In the realm of passenger travel, the 20th century saw the decline of the ocean liner and the rise of the cruise ship. While ocean liners were designed for speed and efficiency, cruise ships are built for comfort and leisure. The RMS Titanic, launched in 1912, was one of the last great ocean liners. Today's cruise ships, such as the Symphony of the Seas, can carry over 6,000 passengers and offer a wide range of amenities, from theaters and restaurants to water parks and shopping centers. In the realm of science and exploration, the 20th century saw the development of research vessels designed to study the world's oceans. These ships, equipped with advanced scientific instruments, have made significant contributions to our understanding of marine biology, geology, and climate science. The RV Calypso, operated by the famed oceanographer Jacques Cousteau, conducted numerous expeditions in the mid-20th century, bringing the wonders of the ocean to a global audience. The century also witnessed the creation of the first nuclear-powered ships. The USS Nautilus, launched in 1954, was the first nuclear-powered submarine. Its nuclear reactor allowed it to stay submerged for extended periods, a crucial advantage in submarine warfare. The NS Savannah, launched in 1959, was the first nuclear-powered cargo ship and a symbol of the peaceful use of atomic energy. In the latter part of the 20th century, the development of the hovercraft offered a new form of water transportation. These vehicles, which ride on a cushion of air, can travel over water, land, and ice, making them highly versatile. The use of autonomous and remote-controlled vessels is another emerging trend. These ships, guided by advanced navigation systems, can operate without a crew, reducing costs and improving safety. The 21st century has also seen the rise of the superyacht, luxury vessels that are a testament to human craftsmanship and engineering. These ships, often custom-built, can reach lengths of over 100 meters and come equipped with every imaginable amenity, from helipads and swimming pools to cinemas and submarines. In the realm of naval warfare, the development of stealth technology has led to the creation of ships that are difficult to detect by radar. From the simple logboats of prehistoric times to the high-tech vessels of today, water transportation has been a key driver of human progress. As we face the challenges of the 21st century, it will continue to play a crucial role in our globalized world. What's the most interesting vessel you've ever driven on? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Your history provider, history but fast.